himself, and he said he would be willing to help me himself on behalf of the club.
Gotcha.
So is the flag gonna stay up all the time, or is this something that's gonna be brought down and up and like 3 days a week, or?
It'll stay up all the time. Since we have the solar light on there, that it can stay up all night and day. And the flag will be polyester, so that it can withstand the weather.
you're bleeding at this point, and what we need is someone to stop bleeding and then hand it off to so it's like an EMT and then handing it off to the emergency room technician when you get there. They've effectively eliminated the EMT, and so you're just gonna potentially bleed out at this point. The other one that's happened, and so there's people are working right now to try and get that funding restored, because the other thing that they also eliminated, and I don't believe that they understood what they were doing, was that one of the critical services they
26 teachers, medical and special education teachers, Title I and high school teachers here in the library. And I'll talk about that in a minute. 21st century, I told you last month that I was monitored and over an overview of the 21st and how I'm doing, and I just have a few reports left to submit. We end our preschool on the 15th as well as our after school program on the 15th. Driver's ed, I have a training coming up. We only have 7 students this time in driver's ed, but so I was late tonight. I was driving, we went to Colville, drive, a little late, sorry about that. And then our data for our ISIP. And we're getting ready to close that out in May as our last ISIP for IRA
didn't have as much feedback as normal this time. A lot of the recommendations he gave the last time he was here a few years ago, we've implemented those. And so, you know, I think really the main thing that he talked about was in the event of, you know, an emergency, some of those things have kind of changed. Like if we have an intruder in the building, kind of the response to that. You know, it used to be gather in a corner in a room, and he says it's actually better now to kind of spread out in groups of people throughout the rooms or buildings. So really there wasn't a lot of recommendations beyond that. We're still waiting for the final report though. The post-legislative roadshow is coming up. That's May 1st at the U of I. Kendall, Dawn, and I are scheduled to attend that. So reps from State Department of Ed will take districts through changes from this legislative session. And then we have a CTE program review for ag. Folks from the state CTE office will be conducting a program review. They say that they like to do those every 5 years, but I think this is the first one we've ever had, so I think they're a little behind. And so they're not able to keep up with those, but they are in the process of doing that. So Mr. Ross is preparing the documents for it, kind of like what we would do with an accreditation, how we prepare documents for the review, almost like a self-evaluation type thing. They go through it, they meet, ask questions, do different things like that. And that's all I have. Any questions?
That KJ7 that does the scholarship for the seniors, do they still do that? Like any senior that applies, goes to school, is that what it is?
Yes. Last year, I believe the total was 5,000 per senior.
And
So
we're
that-
for renewable each year, up to 5 years, I think.
Not yet.
Oh,
Their goal long-term is to be able to award that annually to kids. They're not quite there yet, though, but they're getting closer.
Does that fluctuate on how many kids? Yeah, that are, so,
Yeah, how much money they want to spend on
on
it,
the lump sum there,
situation,
how many kids
yeah.
go to school, and it's just up, or divide what we get from there.
I think Drew got like 4,000, so it's increased a lot, yeah, from this COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad. That's all I got. Any questions? Okay.
Any trustee reports?
Okay, let's move on to the action item. The first action item is to adopt the first of the STEMscopes science curriculum. Say anything, Steve?
Sure. Mr. Anselmo and Mr. McFall have been piloting this with physical science. This is a curriculum that, it's available online. You can also order books, but they've been using it online to pilot it. It provides curriculum, it provides quizzes, tests, it provides content, it provides labs, it provides even just a list of lab materials to do those labs. It's all kind of readily available to put together. It's lacking in a few areas, specifically
So it'll be a lot easier for the coaches. As far as worrying about locking them up all the time, no, I wouldn't worry too much about that, but you need to insist that they turn the receipts in. You can't lose them, you gotta turn them in. And no using that card for personal, period. They do it once, so that would be my suggestion.
Are there any fees for having, credit cards?
No, we don't pay any fees to ICCU. Like all of these cards will be those rewards cards too, so we'll get the 2%.
Excellent. Okay. I was saying, there's been lots of times I've taken trips, think travel card, like you're saying, more like a debit card, where you go and purchase it for 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever you need it.
Yeah, no,
If
ICCU.
there's not any fees, that would be the way to go. And they said 7-day turnaround, like if you switch coaches or
Yeah,
whatever.
yep.
And so that'd be
And
plenty
we-
of time to react that
We
way.
don't have a lot of coaches leaving
Yeah.
in season, so it would be very easy to manage off season, so.
Now, for trips like that, it's just a no-brainer, and it really is, it's just, cause you, well, besides the fact that you get a receipt every time you use the card, so not only do we get a receipt, and you can see it on the card, so
Yeah.
it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it'll be very streamlined, I think, and it won't be a lot of extra work for Jamie, and it'll actually be less work, because she won't have to be issuing checks and tracking money, and, yeah.
Back in the day, we just had no cash, and we had no plus. That's serious, that's what I did, it's like, here's your money for the day.
And they did eat for 3 days, and I shopped.
Hope you guys didn't lose cash.
There you go. I move that we approve the ICCU credit cards for our extracurricular staff.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded that we approve ICCU credit cards for our extracurricular staff. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next item of business is to consider purchase of the Yondr couches for KHS. How do you guys feel about that? Anybody in the room?
Do you want their couches for the cell phones that they lock up when they get here in the mornings? And then they can run off as they leave the school?
Awesome.
I think it's a good idea. Did I see that if they damage the couch, is it $30 to replace it? Is that how